actually. So here I am tonight, no speech, but with an open heart. And I want to share with you a story. It will take a few minutes, but I think it'll be worth it, because that's why we're here. My name is Harvey. I am a former music producer. I'm very nervous at the moment, I'll swap hands. Together with my partners and close colleagues, we own the Chinese Theatre in Hollywood, the Mann Theatre. We own the largest collective group of creative individuals in San Francisco who created, for example, the Tupac Shakur hologram you might have seen a few years ago at the Coachella Music Festival, Michael Jackson hologram that was at the Billboard Music Awards last year. And in addition to this and some other media things, I sit on the advisory board for the United Nations, and I work directly with Michael Muller, who is the Director General of the United Nations in all areas of sustainability, communication and business development. But more importantly, I'm the father of a little boy called Gabriel, and on the 4th of May 2012, my son was born in a very dramatic way and was pronounced dead when he was born. The surgeon worked for 8 hours to keep pumping blood into him and managed to save his life. And as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, we were eventually able to leave the hospital and bring him home. This put many things into perspective for me. I'm a very successful man with a very sick small child, and any of you people who have a child know yourself that when your kid looks at you and those little fingers hold the finger, everything, absolutely everything finds a new perspective. And for me and my wife, we began to dream and hope of all the things that should happen and would happen with our little son. And then in the Easter of last year, he became very sick, and his rectal muscle collapsed, and I had to carry him to a doctor in one hand and hold part of his intestine in the other hand. He was 14 months old at the time, and they put the intestine back inside, and for the next few months they worked to try to find out what was wrong with him. On the 4th of August at 16:48 p.m, we were told that his entire bladder was a cancer, and that there was very little chance he would survive. 2 hours after this, his kidneys collapsed. The day after this, his heart punctured in 3 places, and my wife and I gave up hope. I threw every resource the United Nations has to help my son, and they couldn't fix him. I used a lot of money, and that didn't work either. The bladder had punctured, another cancer had grew outside the bladder, and that had spread to the lymph nodes. And we were told by several doctors, don't bother with chemotherapy, just enjoy the last days you have with your son. But I'm a fighter, and my son is for sure a fighter because he proved that by living actually after his birth. So we began with chemotherapy, and if none of you people have experience with cancer, let me tell you, chemotherapy is the most brutal, disgusting treatment I think you can give a human being. It's pure toxic poison, and you have to sit and watch your loved one suffer in gruesome pain while they pump this stuff through their veins. What happens when you see your child getting chemotherapy is you realize that your child has cancer, but you're the one that actually has to live with it. And you become very depressed. You find it very hard to make it through every day. And when your child gets chemotherapy, their blood dies, their blood platelets stop working, their immune system collapses, their hair falls out, their eyelashes fall off, everything that you can imagine goes, their legs stop working, their muscles shrink, their feet turn inwards, their eyes glass over, they pass out for 12 hours at a time, and they become very, very sick. What happens in this time is you're told your child should be kept away from other children because of disease and germs and infection dangers, and of course if they get a fever there's very little chance they'll survive. So you end up in a bubble actually, and in this bubble you find yourself with your closest family trying to fight this thing that actually they really don't know how to fight. They have ideas, they try different combinations of drugs, but they're still not sure how to cure this thing. We came to Boston to begin proton radiation treatment in addition to chemotherapy at the beginning of November. And when we arrived in Boston, of course we're a long way from home. We're from Norway. Even though I travel a lot to the US because of business and the movie industry, it's not my home. I don't have Thanksgiving. I don't celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December. And I don't celebrate New Year's 6 hours after we celebrated in Norway. And so, when we came, we went to Christopher's Haven. And we found that these bubbles, there are many of them actually. In fact, every parent of every child is living in a bubble. And Christopher Haven may offer affordable housing for parents, but I tell you what they offer, which is priceless. And which is why actually I wanted to speak to you tonight. What they offer parents is hope. We were never given any hope from any doctor or any nurse. The only hope that we have ever got is from other parents who are in exactly the same position as we are. These parents don't know who to talk to, so they talk to each other. We share each other's concerns, each other's fears, and we help each other get through each day. And when you see your child hug another child, they don't look at their lack of hair, they don't look at missing limbs, they don't look at any disfigurement. They just seem to know that they're supposed to support each other. And it's the kind of support you can't give your child, but you want to give your child. And so, as I told you, I didn't come in with a speech, I just decided to speak with an open heart. And with that sentiment, I wish you would open your hearts. I shared my story with you. And I don't just want you to open your hearts, I really want you to open your wallets, your bank accounts, your credit cards, whatever else you've got. Fill the envelopes, give the money, do whatever it takes, because honestly, the world needs a Christopher's Haven. We wouldn't be here now without a Christopher's Haven. I would be in a mental institute somewhere, and so would my wife. But we're still here, and my son finishes treatment next week, and then we will return to Norway, and I hope in turn, and in time, a normal life. So please, please, dig deep, give what you can, and give a little bit more, because they need it. As Joyce said, they rely on private donations. You're here because they hope you can help fund the institution a little bit more, a little bit longer, not for me, but for the parents that are going to come after me. And they will keep coming, and they'll keep coming, and they'll need people to talk to. So help them talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Well said, sir.